one of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett, said, do not put all your eggs in one basket. What does it mean? So in investment, do not rely on one source of income. Because if you lose, for example, your job, what will happen to you? What will happen to your family? And what will happen to the society that you are in? So you need to diversify. If you are an employee, if you have a job, let's say working from 8 to 5, do something that you love on the side, So that's what we call your side hustle. So what's your side hustle? Some students have side hustles. They do part-time jobs, and even teachers, or even employees, bank managers, for example. They have side hustles because maybe some of them do not like what they're doing. So they're building up something, especially something that they love. So if you like baking, you do it after 5 o'clock. Once you get home, though you don't have energy left, but once you're doing what you love doing, even if you're tired, you will still do it, right? Yes? Now, Robert Kiyosaki explained the sources of income through the cash flow quadrants. So you have your first source of income, employee, or if you are a self-employed, or you do business, or you are a business owner, and I stands for investor. Each quadrant has its own language. For example, employees, the language usually spoken by people are job stability, security, retirement. Yes? So, job stability is a familiar language for people who belong to this quadrant. Nandito ako yung pension, na ako insurance, na ako kumpanya, dahil trabaho ko dito ko pag-ayam. But little did you know that if you sacrifice your health, everything just for the sake of your job. But sometimes if your employer does not find you fit or productive anymore, you can just be replaced. Okay? Now, for the E, you work for people. Okay? And you work for the money. So this is what we call the donkey and the carrot. Murabad ang carrot na adiha sa donkey din. Sige siyang sunod-sunod kaya yan ang kanon ang carrot. Kaya katulog po yun sa carrot, yan kung ipalayo. No? Especially if you don't love what you're doing. If you don't love your job. Ingon sila sa Brown, if you don't love what you're doing, heart attacks do not happen at the age of 60. Heart attacks happen every Monday morning. That moment that you don't want to get off your bed. Pagtingog sa alarm, there is no juice for you to wake up. There's no enthusiasm. Murag ka zombie. You have a body, but you don't have a spirit. You are not inspired to wake up and to work and to start your day. Inspired, meaning in spirit. It comes from within. Pagtingog sa alarm, 5 minutes more. After 5 minutes, itingog na po, 10 minutes more, handled, wala na sa kanila. So yeah, heart attacks do not happen at the age of 60. It happens every Monday morning if you don't love what you're doing. Okay? And you work for people, especially if you don't like the people at work. Oh my God, it's terrible. No? Wala naman ka kung sa usa ka tao. It's just that every time you see that person, mo naman, niagi ang weekend, hindi pa siya. Diba? You want that person back. You don't know why. It's just that you don't like the person. Okay? So this is the downside of being an employee. You don't get to choose whom to work with. Okay? Now, S is self-employed. Here, you work for yourself. Okay? Your time is limited. And by the way, employee also, there's a limited time. Okay? Because you have only 24 hours a day. And how many hours you sleep? And how many hours you consume sleeping? Let's say roughly 8 hours. And the rest probably on social media, chit-chat, etc., etc. So you work for 8 hours. But beyond 8 hours, your productivity decreases. Working beyond 8 hours, my God, your productivity decreases, especially if you don't love what you're doing. Also, being a self-employed, you have a limited time because again, you have 8 hours or 16 hours. Beyond getting 8 hours, kapoy na dyan kayo. You work for yourself, like if you are an accountant, you have an accounting firm, so you are a self-employed doctor. What else? A lawyer. If these people won't work, insurance agents, sales agents, if they don't work, they don't earn. So these people here in the left side of the quadrant, on the cash flow quadrants, they are, meaning to say, they won't earn if they won't work. So this is purely active income. So that's what we meant by active income. Active income, no work, no pay. On the other side, on the right side, the B here stands for business owner. You own a business, meaning to say, people work for you. People work for you. And then, what? You have unlimited time. How is that possible that you have unlimited time? Here. If you have 10 people working for you, your number of hours in a day is not only 24 hours, but it is the number of people working for you times the number of hours that they work for you. So if you have 10 people and they are working 8 hours each, so that's 10 times 80 or multiplied by 8, so that's 80 hours per day. So what if your business grew and then what? You hire more and more people. So this X number of people multiplied by the number of hours that they work in a specific thing. So that's your number of hours in a day. Let's have an example. Give me a fast food chain company. Okay, let's just name the company as XXX. Okay? So company X here is selling fried chicken. And how much is the chicken in the market? The fried chicken. How much does it sell? Let's say 80 pesos per piece or 80 pesos a piece. Now, how much does a service crew, how much does a service crew earn, by the way, in a fast food? Let's say 400 a day, so divided by 8 hours, so that's roughly 50. Okay, 50 pesos per hour. So the service crew is earning 50 pesos per hour, so that's the employee. Now, question, how many pieces of chicken can the service crew make in an hour? Let's say 100? Okay, 100 pieces. So 100 pieces multiplied by the price, which is 80, so that is 8,000. 8,000 pesos. Now, the company X earns 8,000 pesos per hour for one employee, and the company only pays 50 pesos for 1 hour. Dalawa na. 8,000 niya earning. Ang ibayad niya sa employee is only 50 pesos. How much more kung 100 employees? Are you seeing the difference? But by the way, here, it takes time to build. Why? You need to have before I proceed, let me ask you, who among you here can make amazing, delicious fried chicken? I mean, more delicious than the fast food company. So your mother does. Question, can your mother sell the quantity being sold by the fast food chain? No. Why is that so? Because she doesn't have a system. This one has a system. So when you are a business owner, you have a limited time, your people work for you. Okay? Asan yung bilangan? Later. I, on the other hand, investor, money works for them. Wala lang yung kwanta, kailangan na kaya. So what they do is, they become venture capitalists or they become angel investors. So when people have great ideas but they don't have money, these people will just simply put their money and then wait for the return on investment. Tulog lang sila and their money is working for them. Pag mata nila, naana sila income. Kining to ha, if dili sila mo trabaho, wala income. Katong kaning to ha, kaya pas one. Diba? So this is job stability. Job stability versus financial freedom. Okay? Kanang job stability ba, ingon ka, ay, bakasyon na. Pag abot na yung dito sa Boracay, kay excited na na-fix na vacation. Before you set foot on the white sand of Boracay, niring yung cellphone. Tawagan ka sa inyong boss. Balik sa dito sa opisina kay na emergency, natin problema may fix. It's an overtake. Job stability. Sige lang yung trabaho, bitaw. Okay? How about financial freedom? Mayroon sila. Vacation. I choose. Where I want. How I want. When I want. Because they own their own time. And they, by the way, they have people work for them. So that's why these people cannot play golf for a longer period of time. Because if they won't work, wala sila income. But these people, they can afford playing golf. Why? Anyways, even if they're playing golf or sleeping, they are earning because people work for them. Question, is it easy to transition from the left to the right? It's quite hard because it's the mindset first that you need to consider. Self-awareness is key. Why is it so hard? Because growing up, we have been conditioned to become employee. That we need to focus on getting a job. So that once we get old at the age of 60, finally, we can retire and enjoy our life. Yes. Imagine ka, at the age of 60, baka maka-enjoy sa mong kinabuhi. If you don't love your job, imagine, and start at work at 20 years old, and then retire ka at 60. Imagine how many years is that? Not 40 years. And what if you don't love your job? 40 years kang gaantos. So you have to start with the mindset. It's very hard. So you have to be aware of yourself. What is it that you like? Will you follow the crowd? Yung magtrabaho silang tanan? But there are those who don't follow the crowd. Kaya kung follow sila sa crowd, they get lost. Okay. If you look at the earnings, the income of employees, no? So this is the income, the y-axis, and this is the time. Ang employee, yung income natin, or ano ba? Kakasaka, right? Because probably there's a promotion. So this is your friend's income. Kakasaka, no? As time goes by. Ikaw, okay, kung nag-business ka, asa ka sugod ris lalong, negative pa dyan. No? Oo, negative pa dyan, kasi hindi ka fail. You fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. Nalugi ka, nahagpong ka, na-disappoint ka, na-discourage ka, nawala ka Diyos sa life. But you continue because of your dream. And then one day, di ka nakakilala. Because While you are still starting, the learning curve is so steep. And once you have that enough experience, guess what? You are building yourself in the process, and then you are building the business. It's not true that ang imong tanawon sa mga successful people is ang ilang flashy cars, big houses, ilang vacations. Mura na ito nakita, but actually, deep down, tip of the iceberg lang to, but deep down, you should also see the fears, the disappointment, the failures, the frustrations, the desperations. These are the things that you need also to see. Question, do you only like the tip of the iceberg? You only like the success? You only like the flashy cars? You only like the mansions, the vacations? Question, are you willing to deep dive and experience what they have experienced? All those lonely moments of building their business. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, they started their business in their garage. Jack Ma, failure after failure after failure, and people don't even believe them. But guess what? Where they are now?